Here are solutions to test number 3 for ECE 376. This test looks at interrupts. Now, the first problem is write a program using a PIC processor to drive a stoplight. The green light, the time is based upon the A to D input, it's X seconds. Yellow is on for 1 second, red is on for 5 seconds. X is from the analog input, it's 5 plus 0.01, so it's 5 to 15 seconds, depending upon what X is. Number of cars, some measured traffic. Well, to use timer 2, I first have to set up timer 2. We got construction going on here, kind of annoying. Set up timer 2 for your favorite time. I'm going to choose 1 millisecond, 10,000. The biggest this can be is 65,000, 6.5 milliseconds. About the smallest it can be is 100. So pick your favorite number. 1 millisecond is convenient. Then the main routine. Every millisecond timer 2 is called. I'm going to take a global variable called delay, decrement it to 0, stop at 0. I'll then use that in the main routine. What the main routine does is it measures the analog input, calculates X, sets port C to 1, which is 001. Green light is on. It sets X to delay to X, and then in the background, it's decremented every millisecond. If X is 6,000, 6,000 interrupts later, 6 seconds later it gets to 0. When it gets to 0, it kicks out. I'll then set port C to 2, 010, that's the yellow light. Wait 1 second. Set port C to 4, the red light. Wait 5 seconds, then repeat. That's one solution. Problem 2. This looks at multiple interrupts. Can I do a dual tone when I hit a push button? So when I hit RB1, I'll play 687 and 1209 Hertz for 200 milliseconds. When I hit RB5, I play 770 and 1336 Hertz for 200 milliseconds. So here's the way that works. Let's look at the interrupts first. When the interrupt is called, it will set up the next interrupt, N0 clocks in the future. If I'm supposed to be playing a note, I'll toggle RC0, otherwise clear it. On timer 1, I'll set the period to N1 clocks. If I'm supposed to play the note, I'll toggle RC1, otherwise clear RC1, exit. Then in the main routine, I'm waiting for a push button. So I'm constantly waiting. Once I push a button, if it was RB1, I'll set N0 and N1, that sets the two frequencies. Turn on play for 200 milliseconds, then turn it off. If I hit RB5, I'll set N0 and N1 for those two respective frequencies, 770 and 1336 Hertz. Turn on the sound for 200 milliseconds, then turn it off. I then wait until the push button's released. Once it's released, I'll then wait for the next push button. Problem 3. This will be a game show. I've got the host and 2 people playing a game. When the host hits RB0, that clears the previous game, turns off the lights. The contestants then push their button. If A pushes the button first, A's light turns on. If B pushes the button first, B's lights turn on. You'll never have both lights turning on. So here's how that works. I'll have time, just measuring time in the background. This is important because timer 1 wraps around every 6.5 milliseconds. If the game lasts longer than 6.5 milliseconds, I need to keep track of wraparounds. On player A, if I see rising edge on player A, I'll check. Has A hit the button already? If not, set a flag and record the time. What this does is if A hit the button a couple times, this is the first edge that I record. Likewise for B. If B hit the button, and it's the first time they hit it, I'll set B to 1 and record the time that B hit the button. Now to see who won, if the host hits their button, I'll clear A, clear B, turn off the lights. I'll then wait for either A and B to hit the button. Once somebody hits the button, I kick out. If A hit the button and B didn't, A wins. If B hit the button and A didn't, A wins. If they both hit the button at the same time, which means within 50 clocks, because it takes about 50 clocks to handle an interrupt. If they're both within 50 clocks, or 5 microseconds of each other, I'll record the time of A, record the time of B, and if A is less than B, A wins. What this means is B wins on ties. It's unlikely They have to hit the buttons within 100 nanoseconds of each other, but B always wins on ties in this code. If I say less than or equal, A always wins on ties. If it's a tie, what I really should do is do a coin toss. And on a tie, flip a coin, random one wins. That's problem 3. Problem 4 is take the following continuous time filter, convert it to the Z domain so you can implement it in code. Assume the sampling rate is 10 milliseconds. A couple ways to do that. The approach I like is the mapping. Z is e to the st. I've got a 0 at -5 in the S plane. Mapping it, it becomes 0.95 in the Z plane. Pole at -20 S plane, 0.81 Z plane. So here's the form of K of Z. To find K, pick a frequency and match the gain, typically DC. At DC, the gain is 5. Pick K, so this also has a gain of 5, making K 3.54. So that's the equivalent G of Z. And that is test number 3 for ECE 376.